Can you imagine how ballsy it is to jump out of a 727 in a rainstorm at night wearing loafers? That's one tough-ass dude.
November 24th, 1971, was just another day for most passengers boarding Northwest Airlines Flight 305 from Portland to Seattle, a short, routine 30-minute flight. But for one passenger on board, this was far from an ordinary day. Dan Cooper, or as the media dubbed him, DB Cooper, would pull off one of the most daring hijackings in history. In a chillingly calm and calculated move, he took control of the plane, demanded $200,000, and then vanished into thin air. The strange thing? He was never seen again. Over 50 years later, the mystery surrounding D.B. Cooper's true identity, his escape, and what really happened that day remains one of the greatest unsolved crimes in the world. Today, we'll break down the events that led up to the hijacking, theories about Cooper's identity, and why we still haven't uncovered the full truth. Let's dig into the mystery of D.B. Cooper. It all started like any other flight. Northwest Airlines Flight 305 was making its routine journey from Portland to Seattle on a crisp November evening. Passengers boarded, the flight took off at 2:50 p.m., and everything seemed perfectly ordinary. Among the passengers was a man in his early 40s, dressed in a dark suit with a black tie and a pearl tie clip. He carried himself with quiet confidence, never drawing much attention. Little did anyone know this passenger was about to alter the course of history. As the plane cruised at 10,000 feet, Cooper, who used the name Dan Cooper at the time, ordered a bourbon and soda from the flight attendant. He was calm and polite, but he wasn't on the plane for a casual flight. Cooper had a plan, one that would soon become the talk of the nation. The flight itself was an uneventful one, and passengers went about their business as normal. The plane had just passed over the Cascade Range when the unimaginable happened. Cooper's calm demeanor was a far cry from the chaos that would unfold in the next few moments. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper did something that caught the flight attendants' attention. He handed a note to one of them. She thought it was just another love note. But Cooper made it clear. "Miss, you'd better look at that note," he said. When she opened it, she saw the words, "I have a bomb." Cooper then showed her a briefcase with wires and red sticks inside. It looked like a bomb. The flight attendant was shocked. Cooper wasn't panicked. He was calm and collected. He didn't seem worried about being caught. Instead, he made demands. He wanted $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting in Seattle to refuel the plane. The flight attendant rushed to inform the pilot. The airline's president was contacted. They decided to cooperate with Cooper's demands. Meanwhile, the passengers had no idea what was going on. They were told the plane was delayed because of mechanical issues. The plane touched down in Seattle at 5:39 p.m. Cooper's plan was unfolding. He had control of the situation. He allowed the passengers to leave. The crew remained on board. A knapsack full of $200,000 was delivered, as well as 4 parachutes. The plane was refueled. Cooper was in no hurry. He calmly outlined his escape plan to the crew. He wanted the plane to fly southeast toward Mexico. He would need another refueling stop in Nevada. The crew had no choice but to comply with his requests. At this point, no one on board knew what would happen next. They thought they were still dealing with a mechanical issue. But the reality was much more dangerous. The plane took off again around 8:13 p.m. Cooper was in control. He ordered the plane to fly low, only 10,000 feet above the ground. This made it easier for him to jump. He also requested that the rear stairs of the plane remain open. At some point over the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest, Cooper made his move. He jumped. He parachuted out of the plane and disappeared into the night. The plane continued on its course to Reno. The crew was unaware of his exit. They didn't realize he was gone until they landed. The search for Cooper began immediately. But the man who had just hijacked a plane, taken $200,000 and jumped out of it, was nowhere to be found. The FBI was quick to jump into action. They launched an investigation that would go on for years. They began searching for Cooper, hoping to find some trace of him. They looked for clues on the ground. They even questioned the passengers who had been on the plane. But Cooper was gone. He had vanished without a trace. There were no parachutes found. No clues that led to his identity. For a time, the FBI believed Cooper might have died after jumping out of the plane. The rugged terrain of the Pacific Northwest could have been dangerous. There was no sign of him in the forests. But that didn't stop the investigation. The case would remain open, and Cooper's identity would become one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. In 1980, something strange happened. A young boy on vacation with his family found several packets of cash near the Columbia River in Oregon. The money had been buried in the sand. The cash was immediately linked to Cooper's ransom. It was the same amount, and the serial numbers matched. The FBI rushed to the scene, thinking they might finally have found Cooper's hiding spot. They searched the area but found nothing else. No sign of Cooper, no parachutes, no body. It was like he had disappeared without a trace. This discovery sparked renewed interest in the case. But despite years of searching, nothing else was found. The mystery deepened. Over the years, many theories about Cooper's identity have emerged. Some people believe he was a former military paratrooper, someone with the skills to jump from a plane at night and survive. Others think he might have been a seasoned criminal who was simply good at staying hidden. Some have suggested that Cooper could have been someone with insider knowledge of aviation, a man who knew exactly how to hijack a plane and get away with it. Then there are more bizarre theories. One even suggested that Cooper might have been an FBI agent conducting a covert operation. This idea was quickly dismissed, but it added to the wild speculation. The media played a huge role in keeping the mystery alive. In 1978, a popular television show, The Rockford Files, featured a storyline about a hijacker inspired by D.B. Cooper. The public loved the idea of a real-life criminal getting away with a heist, and the mystery only grew more intense. One of the more strange theories that emerged over the years was that Cooper might have been the inspiration for the fictional character Don Draper from Mad Men. Some fans of the show started speculating that the mysterious D.B. Cooper might be Draper, with his shady past and ability to reinvent himself. This theory was just a product of fiction meeting real-life mystery, but it captured the imagination of many. Of course, there's no evidence to suggest this was true. It's just another wild idea in the long list of D.B. Cooper theories. In 2017, a new clue emerged. A parachute strap was found near a potential landing site for Cooper. The discovery was small, but it kept the mystery alive. Experts quickly noted that the strap could have been dropped by Cooper, or it could have belonged to someone else entirely. Nevertheless, the clue wasn't enough to solve the case. It added to the pile of unanswered questions that continue to surround Cooper's escape. Some believe the strap was simply another dead end. Others think it might be the key to finding him. The mystery of D.B. Cooper has fascinated people for decades. What we know is that Cooper hijacked the plane, made his demands, and escaped with $200,000. We know he had a plan. And we know he was calm, cool, and collected throughout the entire ordeal. What we don't know is who he was or what happened to him. Was he a brilliant criminal who pulled off the perfect heist? Or did he get lost in the wilderness, unable to survive? No one knows. The FBI officially closed the case in 2016, but the public fascination with D.B. Cooper hasn't ended. New theories continue to pop up, and the mystery remains unsolved. Was Cooper ever caught? Did he survive? Will we ever know the truth?